Let's learn about intervals of polynomial graphs. We're going to talk about a relative max and min in terms of polynomials. We'll find the increasing and decreasing domains and the positive and negative domains, and we'll do this using interval notation. Let's get ready. You're going to need your notes, your pencil, your calculator. We will be graphing on the calculator. You also might want 4 different colors or 2 different colors if you want to color code your notes. So finding the max or the min, we did this with quadratics, but polynomials may have more than one max or min. So when we think about them, if they look like this is a max and this is a min. So we call those relative max and relative min. Remember that you're going to use your calculator to find these. You're going to do second trace, left enter, right enter, and then guess enter. That will find the max or the min. So let's enter this into your calculator, and we're going to find the relative max and min. Your graph should look like this, and this point up here is going to be a maximum. So I want to tell my calculator that. I'm going to do second trace max. Then your cursor should be on the left side and hit enter. Your cursor should go to the right side. You should move it to the right side and then hit enter and then guess enter, and it will tell you what that is. Then you have to do it again. This is a minimum down here. So this is the left side, enter. This is the right side, enter. And we get these values for our max and our min. Let's look at increasing and decreasing intervals. And just a reminder about interval notation. If I think about this, it's not a point. Those are soft brackets, meaning that they are not included. So if I were to put this on a number line, I would have open circles, and I would be everything in between. So the open brackets means it doesn't include it. So when we look at increasing and decreasing intervals, just think of being on a roller coaster. When are you going up and when are you going down? So here I'm going down the roller coaster, then I'm going up, and then I'm going down. So those are our intervals of increasing and decreasing, and we have to figure out how to write that. So we're going to use the graph that we just did. When we're increasing, we're going up, and we want to read it in terms of x. So we're looking at our x-axis as a number line, and we're trying to describe to somebody when we're going up in terms of x. So if I use the blue to say up, then I'm going up here. This x is this value right here, which is the negative 1.3. So I'm increasing from negative infinity to negative 1.361. When x is negative 1.361, I'm at the top. I'm not increasing or decreasing, so that's going to get a soft bracket. Then I'm going to decrease on the way down. So I'm decreasing from that 1.3 to this 2.6. So decreasing is negative 1.361 to 2.694. Both get soft brackets because I'm not increasing or decreasing at this minimum down here. Grab my blue again because I am going back up on the roller coaster. So that's an increasing interval, and that is from 2.694 to positive infinity. So in this example, we're going to state intervals of increasing and decreasing. We would graph it on our calculator, really careful to enter with those fractions. We have our relative max and min. We want to state the domain, so we're always just thinking about what x would be. So my blue is increasing, and that's going to be from negative infinity to negative 2. Then I'm decreasing. And again, I'm looking at my x values, decreasing from negative 2 to 1/2. Then I'm increasing 1/2 to 3. And back to decreasing, and that's 3 to positive infinity. Be careful, remember this is positive infinity even though it's pointing down. Decrease, that should be positive infinity there, 3 to positive infinity. We're going to switch now our thinking to positive and negative intervals. When is the graph positive? When the graph is above the y-axis, when y is positive. When is the graph negative? when the graph is below the y-axis. So if we look at this little sketch, this is above the y-axis, this piece is above the y-axis. If I'm doing negative, this is down below the y-axis. So now we have to think about the notation to describe this. So if I look at the same equation, the one we just did, we had our max and min, and if I'm thinking about the positive, that's this piece. So I kind of want to describe it from this x to this x. And again, we do it in terms of domain, not y, even though it feels like we're going up and we need y. It's just above the x-axis and when y is positive. However, this maximum is not going to be very helpful. We are going to need these x-intercepts. So when you're trying to find intervals of positive and negative, you need your x-intercept, not your max and mins. So I went ahead, it did factor nicely. So this is the x-intercepts, and now we want to think about when is it positive and negative. So when it's positive, it's above, and that's from this point to this point. So again, interval notation, and again, soft brackets, because when it's at 0, it's neither positive nor negative. So -3 to 1 is a positive interval. This one's also positive, so I'll do that one. And, oops, that was supposed to be a 0 there, because that one is over there. So 3 to 0. And then also positive, this is 1, so 1 to 4. And then negative would be this piece down here. So -infinity to -3. This little piece here between 0 and 1, and this piece here from 4 to positive infinity. Let's try another one. So go ahead and graph it. We want the x-intercepts. So you're going to find those on your calculator. Remember, that's second trace zeros when you're trying to find the x-intercepts. So when we graph it, we get this. Remember, with the zeros, you're trying to go on the left side here with your cursor, and then on the right side. Over here, this is left and right, left and right. You have to find all three of them, so you have to do it 3 times. Here are my x-intercepts. I'm wondering if you know what that number represents, 1.41. That is the square root of 2. So we want to talk about positive and negative. I'm going to make my positives red here. So this is positive and this is positive. And I'm looking at my x's. So this is -infinity to -1.41. And then between 0 and positive 1.41. The negative is going to be down here and here. So I'm going to say from -1.41 to 0, and then from positive 1.41, to positive infinity. So just to recap, increasing and decrease, we need the max and min. Positive and negative, we need the x-intercepts. They both rely on the x, on the domain. Good job.